if you do that. It's not about you getting the pain or your name being, tired, but this is the name of God. Riches are dangerous because the ultimate issue is God. And poverty is dangerous because the ultimate issue is God. So brothers and sisters, the book of Proverbs, the most practical, down-to-earth book in the Bible, is written for God's sake. That we might not deny God in our prosperity, and that we might not profane God in the hour of need. Amen? So brothers and sisters, in this Bible verse that we read, there are 6 points that we can see. The first point, so these are the 6 points, brothers and sisters. So next slide. The first point is the origin of the family. So, kilala niyo siguro yan. Sino bang di nakakilala? Of course, you all know. The origin of the family, that is God's idea. Hindi natin idea yon, that is God's. So Solomon talks about how mothers should treat their children, fathers should treat their children, how kids should respond. It says here in verse 8, "Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching." Right? But perhaps it can't be taken for granted anymore. Families are God's idea, God's plan, God's way. They are not arbitrary evolutionary development based on instinct. The family is ordained by God in the creation, brothers and sisters. So kung titingnan natin because we are talking about the family sa Genesis 1:27, you will see there, Genesis 1:27, "And God created man in His own image, in the image of God, He created him, male and female, and created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth." So, ginagawa ba ng tao yun? How do they do in their fruitful and earth multiplying? Anong ginagawa ngayon? By indiscriminate mating and pregnancies. Amen? So God has instituted the union of man and a woman so that they can have a family. But today, wala nang family, basta create lang ng create. Which is not a good thing, right? I mean, ano lang, yung sabihin, because ultimately God created all things. I mean, the means. But God has the answer. Kasi ngayon marami we see a lot of pregnancies were unwed mothers, right? But the Bible has the answer in Genesis 2:24. If you check Genesis 2:24, God gives the answer. "A man shall leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." So what's happening now is they become one flesh, but then one move to somewhere else. So hindi na sila one flesh. Iba-ibang flesh sila. So that's where the problem is, kasi hindi sila sumusunod dun sa Panginoon, yung God's plan. So kung natin compare natin yung marriage sa alloy. You know what is an alloy? Alloy is a mixture of 2 or more metals. The reason is to make it stronger. So example, ihaluin mo yung chromium sa steel, you make the stainless steel. Stainless steel is resistant to corrosion. So hindi siya yung tawag nito, nangangalawang. So brothers and sisters, in this example, we can relate to what God meant by one flesh. Na pag na-combine mo yung a man and woman is just like an alloy na if you do what God says, it becomes very strong. And it's very effective. But nowadays, there's a lot of divorce, especially here in North America. I just don't know in the Philippines. Are they allowed now? No, not yet. So, good. So, at least di tayo sumusunod. It's easy, right? It's just like you are filing for a passport, right? Last week, I just filed my passport renewal. And I will just have to submit these papers, and after 2 weeks, it's done. So, divorce is the same way. You just have to do that. Sign and then you leave it, and that's it. So, kumbaga, napakadali na lang ngayon kasi. But did you know that when God, it's like the alloy, when you separate the different metals, it's so hard. That's the difference. Yung alloy, pag pinaghiwalay mo siya after you combine, it's so hard. It takes a lot of you have to do a lot of things. But you know, even though there are a lot of divorce now in North America and a lot of single parent homes and unwanted child or yung left out sila, you can see how faithful God is that He still made provisions for them. God has been faithful to millions of mothers and fathers who have to raise children alone. So we know that probably in our church, we have people here who are single parents who are raising their kids. So yun yung dalawang dad and mom nahihirapan na, how much more if you only have one, right? So we would like to encourage the mothers to just continue, because God will provide. Even in the Old Testament, this is something that God never forget. In the Old Testament, brothers and sisters, did you know that one of the tithes in the Old Testament was reserved not only for the Levites, but for the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow? Brothers and sisters. So even today, I think the only organization that helps people in such situation are the churches. One of them. Amen?
Amen.
So sabi nga dito I will read to you in the Old Testament, this is what they do. In Deuteronomy 14:28-29. At the end of every 3 years, you shall bring out all the tithe of your produce in the same year and lay it up within your towns. And the Levite, because he had no portion of inheritance with you, and the sojourner, the fatherless, and the widow, who are within your towns, shall come and eat and be filled, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands that you do. Because it is God Himself who said, if you do that to them, I will bless you. So brothers and sisters, it's an encouragement to us that we should help for these people. Amen?
Amen.
Because as you know, the original purpose of God is for the heart of the family as one man and woman. That was the original plan. Living to each other as husband and wife and becoming one flesh in fruitful sexual union. In that way, He meant to fill the earth with humans whose image for His glory, with couples whose covenant relationship show the world the way that God relates to His covenant people in love and faithfulness. Amen? So that is God's idea. And number 2, brothers and sisters, the family as a school. Sabi nga sa verse 8, hear my son, your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching, The father is an instructor and the mother is the teacher. Therefore, the family is a school. Amen? Yeah, so do you still remember what your parents told you? Don't eat too much sweets. Diba? Brush your teeth before you go to bed. So those simple things that some people forsake. And they have consequences, right? So ano ba yung naalala niyo sa mother niyo? So, siguro sa dami din ako alala. So, God ordained the family not just to be fruitful and fill the earth. Hindi lang yung magpakarami, di ba? But to be instructed and taught. The family is the place where the next generation is born and where the next generation learns how to live. Kasi yung mga school natin, ano lang yun, education, mga about being skilled at work, right? What to say in an interview, mga ganun siguro. And our skills in a different career. But in the home, it is kumbaga 360 degrees lahat. Kasi yung relationship mo sa ibang tao. Just like me, when I was a kid, I remember, I was just watching how my uncles, how my dad, how my mother will treat a stranger at home. How they, what they say. So brothers and sisters, it's the house is a school. So I'm saying this in a perspective of a child. So siguro sa inyo na may mga family na, so you can better understand. Sabi nga sa Proverbs 32, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. So most likely, pag tinuro natin habang bata pa, it will stay in his or her heart. Kasi malakas pa yung memory niya, di ba? A child has very strong memory. Because life does not come, maybe there are things that comes easily to us, right? So, if we are hungry when we were a child, we will ask for milk. Or when we see a bright light, our eyes will adjust automatically. We don't have to learn. But the life itself, how we come to terms with life, we have to learn. And one place is the home.